and gentlemen, welcome on in to an absolutely fantastic episode of Bar Talk. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, happy Thursday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it is that you are listening to this. I hope you are having the absolutely best day ever. And guys, remember, you have the power, my friends, to turn it around and make it an absolutely extraordinary day. Okay, before we dive in, I just would like to say that as I'm filming this and I was doing my audio check, I realized that there are wind chime noises in the background. So you might be able to hear them. You might you might not be able to hear them. I will explain why that is shortly, but guys, just know that I am so happy to be back. I have missed all of you. I have missed having these conversations. I have missed Bar Talk. I took an unexpected break. I realized that I needed to focus on filling up my cup and taking care of myself, which meant taking a break a little bit longer than expected and just kind of, going a little bit off the grid. I think sometimes with social media, you can be go, 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 go. And it's great because that's part of this process. That is part of the grind that people call it. But sometimes it's really important to pause and reflect within and just make sure that your cup is getting filled up too. And I know that for me, that was something that I needed to do. And I think I felt that my life, um, we'll say gracefully pushed me towards taking a break. Okay, so I guess without getting into too many details about that, I want to tell you guys what I learned in this little unexpected time off. And I had someone say to me once, like, you need to learn to just ride the wave, which I thought was the biggest load of hippy dippy bullshit I've ever heard of in my life. However, I think it's the truth. And I think what I'm learning to do with riding the wave is ride it with no direction on where you think you need to go or where you want to go. Just ride it and see where it takes you. And that's kind of been something that I have been trying to do a much better job of is just ride the wave and see where it takes you because where it's going to take you is going to be way better than we thought. In my last episode, I talked about learning to surrender. And what was funny about that episode, or not funny, I guess maybe ironic is more of the proper phrasing for it. I forgot a while back I had sent my cousin a video and it popped up in my head and it is by this woman named Gabrielle Bernstein. If you ever get the chance to look her up, I would definitely suggest looking her up. But she did a super soul Sunday, like mini like TED talk almost like. And she has these 5 rules of surrendering. And the last rule that she says is once you think you've surrendered, surrender even more. And I think that's something that I definitely am doing now is okay, I surrender. Okay, I'm doing it more. I'm going to surrender more. And I'm trying to just let go of where, just let go of it all in a good way, in a very good way. And then I think if there's one thing that I've realized, and honestly, it's, I don't know if you guys are watching, if you're watching this, you'll be able to tell. If you're listening, you won't. But my setup's a little bit different, and that's because I've moved. That was kind of one of the things that happened to me in this unexpected break was I had to move pretty quickly, and it all happened exactly the way it was meant to happen. It happened in like divine timing, and everything had aligned perfectly with my angels. And what's funny is being in here sitting down recording this looking around at my loft. It's just me and I love it. I've realized that I am exactly where I need to be, and that is a beautiful feeling is being exactly where you need to be in the moment and not looking back in the rearview mirror, even though reflection's not a bad thing. Just don't get stuck back there and not looking too far ahead. Because I think sometimes when we get so focused on being too far ahead, we're not we're not present to what is happening right now in front of us. So, guys, for those of you who are listening, for those of you who are watching, I want you to look around at where you're at right now. And I want you to feel it, smell it, see every tiny detail and really take in the moment in. Whether it's you're walking down the street, you're in the grocery store, you're at a bar, you're in your house, you're at work, wherever it is that you are, if you're driving, I want you to take this moment in. Just take it in and look around. What is it that you're feeling? How do you feel? Because where you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be. So embrace it and enjoy it. Okay. All right, guys. So, like I said, I moved and I'm still trying to figure out my like setup right now because I'm just trying to figure it out. So, if anyone knows how to organize a shelf, do you know how hard it is to like balance out like a bookcase or like a shelf, like a shelving unit? Like I have looked on Pinterest, I have looked on TikTok, and I get everything is like they have these, I don't know, all these weird things that I don't really think you need. So if anyone knows how to do it, I would love your suggestions. Or if you would like to send me what your bookshelf looks like so I can get some inspiration. But if not, I will be calling over my best friend, Miss Morgan Howard, aka Morgan Manizzi, and you are going to help balance out my bookshelf because I have no idea how to do this. This is like a lot harder than I thought. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's like all right there. And we're just like trying to figure it out. Yes. Okay. So there's that. Guys, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about our guest this evening. I actually filmed this episode a while back and then my life kind of a lot happened in my life. So I just wasn't able to get this out in the fashion that I wanted to. But guys, our guest this evening is an old high school friend of mine, and that is Miss Vanity Walsh. Vanity, I've known Vanity since I was a freshman, so since I was 14 years old. And I said this in the beginning of the episode, but there are just certain people you meet in your life that you know are going to do things and you don't really know what it is, but you just know they're going to do something. And that was Vanity. I just knew Vanity was going to do some incredible things. But before we go ahead and dive into that, I do want to put out a trigger warning for those of you who are listening or watching. We talk about domestic violence in this conversation. We talk about trauma as well that Vanity has faced. So if this is something that maybe you think you might be triggered by, make sure you are listening or watching this with someone you feel comfortable with. Or make sure you can call someone right afterwards to talk about this because this was a really heavy conversation. And I just want to make sure that while I know that this is going to be extremely impactful, I want to be very sensitive to those who are listening, where you make sure that you have someone to talk to when you are done with this. Okay. But let me tell you a little bit more about Miss Vanity. And guys, I just think what's incredible about her is she has had every reason to give up and she has had every reason to throw in the towel. And you know what? She hasn't. And I know she's not going to. And I just think that there's something so beautiful about Vanity's outlook on life, the perspective that she views life through. And I hope that that is something that you can take away from this because life is not easy. And sometimes no one ever tells you just how hard life is going to get. And I think what has been so beautiful about this conversation that I've had with Vanity is her outlook on life is just giving her more and more gratitude. It's incredible. She's absolutely incredible. Um, and I want to go ahead and dive on into this. But before we go ahead and do that, guys, I got two quick things. Since I have my own place, one of the things I absolutely love about it is that I am in complete control of the smells. Meaning the candles that I am lighting. And as you guys know, the only candle I trust to have burning in my house is LYW candles. LYW candles standing for Light Your Way. And honestly, what has been beautiful about this company, guys, is it's more than a candle. It is a inspiration. It is a reminder to you that you are in control of your destiny. You are in control of the path that you choose to take. And one of the candles that I have that I'm going to light right now, if you're watching the background, hold on, I got to dip back a little deeper. Oh yeah. Oh, I almost fell. Hold on. That would not be good. Okay. It's not as close as the last setup, guys. Okay. This is going to be the Nightscape, sage, oak, guava, and bergamot. That was the way I had to look it up last time. All right, let's go ahead and light this guy. Woohoo. Beautiful. We're not using matches anymore. Those were dangerous. Okay. But guys, LYW is kind enough to give you 20% off your next order. And with the time that this episode is coming out, guys, it's fall, which means that it is perfect for those fall scented candles. And Hannah has a few fall scented candles that one of them is the Orchard that I'm just absolutely obsessed with. She had it last year, brought it back. Bright apples, orange peeled, and muddled wine. Yum. And it also smells absolutely outstanding. The Harvest. And I thought there was one more. Let me find it. Hold, I'm looking it up. But guys, we love a good fall candle burning in our house. And I'm telling you, you're gonna want it. Oh, she's got some new ones too. Ooh, girl, I gotta go order these. Yes, queen. All right, I gotta order these right now. Let's finish this up. Okay. Anyways, guys, head on over to LYW's Instagram account, which is LYW Candles, or their website, which is lywcandles.com, and get 20% off your next order using promo code BARTALK20. Again, that is promo code BARTALK20. Don't forget to use it at checkout. Okay, guys. And then secondly, by the time you listen to this, football season is going to begin. Holy shit, that is crazy. And with football season beginning, that means that if you're planning on going to any of the NFL stadiums definitely have different bag policies. So this is going to be for my ladies. But gentlemen, if you are listening and you have a sister or your significant other who maybe isn't aware of the bag policy, I'm telling you, you're going to want to, one, inform them, and two, send them over to Margot Page. Okay. Margot Page is a handbag for all year wear made with durable and recycled materials. Okay. Guys, I absolutely adore these. And what I love about these bags is not only are they extremely durable, but they're also super cute. I don't know if anyone who's ever gone to like an NFL game before, but like, I didn't know the first time I went to a game that you couldn't wear like a normal bag. And ladies, let's be real. Like, we may be wearing like crossbody bags right now, but like, they'll probably tell you it's too big, even though it's barely the size of your one tit. I'm like being super dramatic, but whatever. Anyways, so let me go ahead. I'm going to show you guys, for those watching and for those listening, I will explain to you two of my favorite bags from them. Okay, hold on. Margot Page sent me these two bags, and honestly, I'm obsessed with them. So again, I told you a fanny pack has made a comeback. I go downtown and everyone's wearing a fanny pack. So guys, this one is the clear fanny pack. Definitely good to wear across your chest, on your hip. Hip, waist, hips don't lie by Shakira. You know what I'm talking about, guys. Okay. And guys, it's just super cute. I would totally recommend getting this. It has some nice chains on it, so it has a little bit of like bling to it, so to speak, and then you can adjust the straps on it as well. But this guy is my absolute favorite. It is the crossed body fringe, and she just came out with 3 new ones, guys, in silver, gold, and rose gold. I have mine in black. Okay, I love it. And it's like the perfect size to just fit everything in. You can put your like IDs and wallets in there. There's a nice little like slip spot for that. Some little braided banding, and just wear it across, and it's perfect, and it's all you need. Okay, especially when you're going out to like a game, or honestly, guys, maybe you just want to like zhuzh up your wardrobe a little bit come the fall. I'm telling you, these are absolutely fantastic. I love them. I get compliments every time I wear Margot Page out. So you guys are going to want to get this. So for my ladies listening, go ahead and buy it. I love a new handbag. very reasonably priced, and I got a promo code for you. And gentlemen, I'm telling you, your lady is probably not going to know about bag policies, especially if you're taking her to an NFL game. And there's nothing more embarrassing than your girl going to a game and being pissed off that she can't bring her entire bag in. Happened to me. Okay. So guys, anyways, head on over to Margot Page's Instagram account, which is Margot_Page, or head on over to their website, which is margotpage.com, and they're going to give you 10% off your next order using code BARTALK10. Okay, so head on over there, promo code BARTALK10, and you will get 10% off your next order. All right, guys. And then lastly, if you have been coming to the bar with me for a while, please know from the bottom of my heart how absolutely grateful I am. If this is your first time to the bar with me, guys, welcome on in. I would love it if you would subscribe on our YouTube page. Everything across the board is Bar Talk with Jenna, or follow us along. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, and we are on YouTube. Okay. Leave a review if you have enjoyed this episode. Believe me, reviews help more than you know. And guys, I would just like you to tell a little bit of everyone about it. So if you're at a bar, or if you're talking to your friend and you think that they would benefit from a conversation or from listening to this conversation, grab their phone, subscribe to Bar Talk with Jenna without them realizing it. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcast. We are on Google Play. So just take it, type it on in, subscribe, and then one day they're going to wake up and realize, oh my God, what is this? And then they're going to be a part of the Bar Talk community with us all. So go do that, guys. I love it. But okay, that is it. That is all my call to action order for you guys. So thank you so much for listening along, if you are still here with us at this point in the conversation. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and dive on into what is going to be an absolutely inspiring conversation with this guest this evening. So ladies and gentlemen, without absolute further ado, the reason you are all here today, my conversation with the one, the only, Miss Vanity Walsh. Thank you again for coming here. I appreciate it. We're cheersing with our water bottles. So, okay, so can I call you Squishy?
Yes, you may call me Squishy, because that's how I remember you.
I was going to say, that was our nicknames in high school.
That's how we greeted each other.
Squishy. It just was like the normal thing. So I was thinking about, before you got here, like, I was like, there are certain people you meet in your life that you just know they're special. And that was you. And there are certain things you just can't explain. It's just like a feeling. And I always felt that way towards you. I was like, Vanity's just special. Like, she's just going to do shit. I don't know what she's going to do, but I felt that when I met you freshman year at D. And obviously you've had a decade. I mean, it's been a decade, but like a decade of highs and lows, and
yeah,
almost dying 7 times and a roller coaster, we'll say. But I think what's so beautiful right now is you have this sense of like clarity and resilience, and there's just like, to me, you see the light in a lot of situations when a lot of people don't, and we're gonna talk about all of that, because I want to talk about all of that. But before we can talk about the highs, we unfortunately have to talk about the lows because but you can't have highs without lows, is what I've was conversation.
The lows are actually my favorite. The lows are my favorite because they're the reason that I am the way that I am now.
Yeah, that you bounce back.
I had to go through a lot of lows in order for me to find myself.
Yeah. So talk to me first about your first relationship when you were 19.
My first relationship when I was 19.
Well, not technically your first relationship, but the relation. I know you did an IG live about just how I guess let me rewind too. I like to think I'm vulnerable, and then I meet you and I'm like, fuck, I really need to like step up my game, because like I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, but I think people don't understand how hard it is to share and to be open and to tell people about like not the prettiest of moments in our lives, but that's where like connectivity happens. So I guess you can briefly explain to people that relationship, and then what being in that relationship taught you.
Now, are we talking about the one where physical abuse? Like
yes.
Me and my ex used to fight?
Yes.
So that relationship was kind of like, God, you know what? I want to say I met this guy when I was with Annalisa at like North Avenue Beach with Samantha. Like it was like freshman year. And I met him when I was like 16 or like sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
And we met at the beach and he thought that we were older. Everybody thought that we were older.
Yeah.
And I remember we were like kissing and flirting. And he was like, so what school do you guys go to? And we were like, Divas. And he was like, what college is that? I've never heard of that. And I'm like, it's a high school. And he was like, you're like jailbait. I'm like 20. I think he was like 23 or something like that. And he was God. Holy. So he messaged me every year until I turned 18. And when he actually messaged me the last time, I was like about to be 19.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just be like, so you 18 yet? And I'm like, no, not yet.
Yeah.
Like a year later, I'd get another text and be like, one more year. And yeah, me and my mom had bumped heads good enough to where I was gone, and I had just gotten like this little apartment in Lincoln Park, like at this like garden unit, and I just reconnected with him, and he helped me move in, he helped me get all my things in there, and I was there for about like 3 months until like we just moved in together. Like he was just you should just like come move in here with me, like I'll take care of you. And what doesn't sound more amazing to a 19-year-old girl who's been put out on the streets
than being like, provided for.
Like,
yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean you'll take care of me? Like, and he was like, I'll take care of you, you know, like I love you. And at that point I still hadn't said I love you back. Like I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just sleep at night, because like I was just like young and like I didn't know I was finding myself. And,
right.
And yeah, so I moved in with him right away, and I started like working in nightclubs, like underage, fake ID.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he was training to be an MMA fighter, and so he was like, I want to work on the weekends too. So he started doing security. I started working doing bottle service. And for a while, it was great. Like,
mm-hmm.
for a while, like, everybody who ran into us were like, you are our favorite, like industry couple, like, you know. And it was because sober, he was amazing. Like, he was, like, the type of, like, boyfriend to, like, bring you gifts at your job. And, like, all your girlfriends were like, oh, my God, he brought you a Michael Kors watch, you know, like just to pop up and do sweet things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a problem with blacking out, and when he would black out, it was just like a different person. Like it was like you couldn't see the same person in his eyes anymore. And the blacking out, like at first was just like arguments, you know. And I think that he was just waiting for me to cheat on him. Like he had been like cheated on, and I know that like he didn't have a lot of like strong female role models in his life. And, like, every time he got drunk, it was just like, I know you're cheating on me. I know you're a skank and this. And I was just like, I don't like being called out of my name. I've always had, like, a temper. And,
right.
I mean, whether it's a guy or a girl, like, if you call me something that I don't feel is correct at that moment, like, I will lash out. And I did. I was the one to, like, swing the first few times, but, like, always lost. Like, I would, like, fly from one room to the other room, like, Superman punch me in the air, like, and then, he would start swinging back, and then before you knew it, I was the one on the floor getting kicked in the ribs. Like, I wasn't winning.
Mm-hmm.
And, the thing was that we would go to sleep, and the next morning he would wake up, and we'd look at each other, and he would be like, why is your face like that? Why is my lip bloody? Like, why? And I would just, like, you know, you could just see it in my face, and he would just break down and he would cry. And it was just like an emotional roller coaster that we went on, because you could see the remorse, and you could see him, like, he would be, like, on his knees, like, I don't remember anything. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. And, you know, here I am retelling the story, and he's mortified.
Right.
But then again, I'm also as immature as I was, I also felt like I took responsibility for being like, well, I was the one to swing on you first, you know? And that's what my mom always raised me, was like, if you want to fight a dude, she's like, a dude's going to fight you, but he's going to fight you like a dude. So, like, pick up a chair, break it over his head, and run for your freaking life, because you're never going to beat a guy. And we did that like vicious cycle for like 2.5 years, and it was just like it wasn't getting any better. The fights were happening more often. I was just more resentful, and I stayed because I had too much pride to go straight back to my parents and just be like, I tried making it in the real world, and my boyfriend beats me up, so can I move back home? You know, I couldn't do it. Like, I didn't tell, like, even like my best friends, like, nobody knew. And yeah, I just really started to outgrow him, and he started to like make it seem like the lifestyle we were living was completely fine. Like, he was going to be okay living that for the rest of his life. And I was like, no, this isn't the end game for me. Or it shouldn't be the end game for you. Like, I don't want to be a bottle service girl for the rest of my life, but I don't want you to be a security guard for the rest of your life. And it took a break, and you know, I tried to give him another chance, and that was like the time where there were like a few scary times with him. And one of them was definitely, we were driving, and we were on our way home from work, and he said something to me in the car, and I was the one driving. And I remember, I think I went to like hit him, and he grabbed my arm and he twisted it behind my back. So now I'm like facing my knees, and I'm driving, and I have one hand on the steering wheel, and like I have no idea where we're going. Like, my foot is on the gas. I'm like twisted up. And I remember like finally like being able to like just like slam on the brakes, jump out of the car. And I went to go run, and he caught up to me and gave me a good few knees to like the stomach. And I was on the floor, and then he was like, come on, let's fucking go. Like, sorry.
Oh, it's bar talk. You can say whatever.
He was like, let's go. And at that point I was like, I'm not about to walk home. Like, my ribs hurt. And there was like, that was like a time where I was scared, because like I was driving and I didn't know where I was going. And then the last time was definitely just, it was New Year's, and we had like decided to spend New Year's together. And when we got home, he just started, and we just started going at it, and like he choked me so hard that like I literally like started to throw up, and I ran. And I just remember,
Oh God, sorry.
You're okay?
Yeah.
And I just remember like getting yanked by my hair and dragged back out into like the living room. And like when he got on top of me and he was like, you're gonna die tonight, I was like, oh my God, I really am gonna die tonight. Like, it was just like, that was not him. And again, like I've made peace with him. We've made peace with each other. I think that sometimes people pull out the bad in people, and sometimes people pull out the good in people. I'm not saying what he did was right, but he definitely dealt with 19-year-old Vanity. Like, I think one time I had like a fit about us going to the mall, and he promised to buy me a dress, and because we didn't get the dress because we had to go to work, and he was like, no, we have to come back another time. Like, I remember like pouting in the car, and I'm like, oh my God, like, how old were you? But I was 19. I was a teenager. Like, that's what I would have done if my mom or dad had taken me to the mall. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get you a dress, and then no dress. Like, really? Like,
yeah.
But so I think that, like, you know, he had to like raise kind of like a girl into a woman a little bit, and see me go through those stages. And again, one of my immaturity things was to put hands on somebody that I was dating. Like, I thought that was okay, and it's not. And I've never encountered this situation again. And that to me also just shows that, like, you know, I think that I could have encountered it again had I not learned my lessons from this relationship and been like, all right, you like getting kneed in the ribs and black eyes? Like, well, then maybe you should keep your hands to yourself. And I'm definitely understand that there are women out there that just get hit for no reason. Like, you know, like, that is not okay. But I'm saying, like, if you can prevent it, then learn from your mistakes. And that's why I say I like the dark parts that I went through, because I wouldn't know any of this had I not went through it, had I not seen it firsthand myself. Like, you can hear other people's stories, but you wouldn't know it yourself. And I think that, like, I've proven to myself with every relationship, like, trying to improve a certain way, trying to improve on myself or how I behave in a relationship to get different outcomes.
For women or men, honestly, who are listening to this, and if maybe they know someone who is struggling, but they can't, because I think what's hard is we all have friends who you have inklings, you have like your suspicions, but you don't ever want to verbalize them because you don't want to say something that it's not true, and then you look like this terrible person, and then they're back with them, and then they don't like
then you're not the friend
and then
anymore.
you're not the
They're
friend
like,
anymore. But I guess if you could say something to anyone who's listening or watching of like what would have helped you in that situation, like friend wise, like was there something you felt like you needed from friends, from loved ones, from family members that could have maybe gotten you out of it sooner?
That's hard just because when I love very hard. And I'm even protective over the person I love. There was occasions where our neighbors had called the cops, and the cops had shown up, and as soon as we opened the doors, I was like, no, everything's fine here. Like, no, yeah, I dropped a picture frame on the floor. Like, there were times that like he was asked to leave our home, and then as soon as they left, I was like, where you at? Like, come back.
Yeah.
So I think that like your mind just has to be made up in that. Like, I don't think that anybody could have helped me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think if somebody had found out and they had been like, Van, you're better than this. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
But I gave that relationship like 150%. Like, I just tried to like prove like not all women are the same. And, I just tried to love someone into a better person. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm sure that I did a lot of stuff that was not great in that relationship. But I think that I did make my mark on that person. And I think that that person is a better person from this. I think if anything, had I had communication with my family, my mom would have been like the first person I had gone to and talked to. But because I was just such a rebellious teenager and such a brat, I wasn't speaking with my family. And I think that that's what made the difference, because I've always had the type of family that we could like go to each other and talk about serious things or have open conversations. My parents always made sure that we felt comfortable talking to them. And I mean, even in high school, like I'd be like, Mom, I made out with so-and-so, or like I would come home to tell my mom. That was like the first person I told. My mom would be like, I don't need to know who you're making out with. But I'm like, oh my God, I want to tell you.
But Mom, I'm so excited. Can you just be happy for me, please? This guy's super goddamn hot.
He drives this nice car, Mom. Like, you're 16 years old. Like, it's candy apple red, okay?
Oh my God! Right, good, nice candy apple red car. What again? Like, if there are people who are listening, was there a moment? Like, obviously, you said like he told you like you're gonna die tonight, and you believed that. I'm going to assume, and if I'm wrong, tell me. Like, that was the breaking point. Like, that was it. Like, I get out. Like,
yeah, that's when I took the advice that my mom had given me, and I just remembered my mom telling me about a guy who got kind of like aggressive with her, and that she was in the car with him, and that she was like calmed him down. I was like, okay, you're right. Let's just head home, and just waited for a red light and just bolted at a red light. And she was like, I needed to calm him down so that I could make my escape. And, and that's what I did. Like, I literally just snapped out of it. And it wasn't like going tit for tat anymore. And it wasn't like, who's the badass here? It was like, baby, why are we fighting? Baby, why are you mad? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything I just said. Let's go lay down. Like, I love you. And I just said anything to like get whoever that person was, because like I couldn't see him in his eyes anymore, to just like calm down enough to lay down. And as soon as I heard like a snore, like I was out of there. Like I don't even bolted out. Like and I've seen that person since, and again, we are cordial. We're at peace with each other. There's no animosity. We understand that we both played parts in that relationship, and that, we're better apart. I think that's the understanding that we've come to. We don't wish bad on each other, but I can't say that I fully would trust myself alone in a room, especially if there was alcohol involved.
Right.
If there was alcohol involved, I'd be like, okay, see you later. It was great seeing you.
Right.
Just because I'd be afraid of that other person to come back.
Right. You said something about being happy or being right, which I've never heard it put that way, but I think it's I was like, oh my God, it's so true, because we live in a world where I think everyone wants the final word. And also, your girl's super fucking spiritual and into the moon and shit. And right now we're in Leo season, so everyone needs to be fucking right, and everyone's pride is through the fucking roof right now. But I think what's so interesting about what you said is I had a situation happen to me where I was talking to someone, and they had said something to me that had nothing to do with me, but it was a lot of projection. And I'm in my head, I'm you are so fucking wrong. You are so fucking, I think they said something I know you don't have anyone in your life, but just know I'm here for you. And in my head, I'm well, you just showed me your deck. It was, again, this is all internal dialogue. And I was but I'm not telling you that. So I just said, okay. And I walked away. And I think old Jenna.
That's that. 2 + 2 is 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. You got
5.
it. It's 5. But I think that's such a great lesson of do you need to have the final word? Do you need to have the final straw? Or can you just be happy and realize you need to move on?
Yeah. And I, again, I have to, my mom is very, spiritual. We are into the zodiac signs, and she does she's probably gonna chart us all pretty soon, but she is my eyes and ears, and she kind of has always given me the heads up, or the right kind of wisdom, and that's wisdom that I give free game to people on Instagram. I'm my mom came to me and my brother a few months ago and told us that she was listen, right now, it's not about being right. It's about being happy. And she sat down me and my brother individually, and she was like, you guys have things to work on, but it's not about being right. It's about being happy. So even if someone is this and that, who cares? As long as you're happy, let them be, thinking or doing whatever they want. We don't need to come in and be by the way, you're wrong.
Exactly.
It's not worth it. And that's, I've been able to apply that to a lot of things in life since we've had that conversation, and things in my past where it was do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And that could be the difference between being here and not being here. And one thing that I really learned to do is to try to avoid bad blood at all costs. My mom thinks it's an issue. I don't know. My therapist doesn't really think it's the worst thing. But if I meet you and you don't like me, I've been like this since a kid. I have an issue with rejection. And so I will make it my goal for the year for you to like me. I will go out of my way to kill you with kindness, knowing that you don't like me, just so that you have to come back to me at some point and be so I thought you were a bitch when I met you. And actually, you're really fucking nice. And I'll be thanks. Thanks for being honest and admitting that. And then, don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's still genuine. I'm still going to be nice to you. But I just don't like it when people either see me or they're just oh, I bet she's just a freaking stuck up bitch. And I'm just watch this. I will show up with cookies. Here, I baked you cookies.
If anyone would do it, it would be you. It would, honest to God, be you.
Because I know that I like to make friends. I love people. I love people more than I probably should love people, because people have been bad to me. And I see the good in people. That's why I've had so many bad people around me. It's I know that they do this, and that, but I think that they're really good at their core, and I'm gonna be there to help them find their goodness. And then it comes out oh, they did this and that. I kind of knew that they were involved with things like that, but I believed in their good.
You always try to see the good in people. I think it's an admirable quality when you try to, because sometimes people just need they almost need you to like bring it out of them. You know, not that I ever think it's like our jobs to like make other people better, but I think if you show kindness to others, you just have no idea how it's going to impact them. And it's really as simple as just like looking someone in the eye saying like, how are you doing today? Like, and it sounds so
and
fucking silly
about it.
Yeah.
And being genuine about it. Yeah.
Just be honest. And oh God. Okay. So guys, Vanity is just like, again, I remember hearing about your fiance, a few years back, and just being like, I think my heart's shaking right now, and it's kind of crazy because I just remember being like in disbelief, I guess, because it sounds so, I don't even know what the words are, like not real. Like, I guess it just doesn't sound like something that would ever happen. And hearing that you were okay, I was like, okay, I'm happy Vanity's okay. Like, really, like, I'm just happy that you're okay. And again, I know some people know your story and some people don't, but I'll just let you tell it. Yeah.
So this is like a part of my life that I like think about frequently, and I know and I can admit to myself that like I wasn't always a good person. And I just mean that when I was living on my own and I was trying to find my way, I kind of just like went into like survival of the fittest, or like whatever I had to do to survive. And I kind of just like threw like my book of like morals and principles like out the window. And like just everything that my parents had taught me. You know, my mom always told me like, if you do bad will come to you at some point, at some like, you know, at some time it will come to you. And I always listened to that as a kid, but then I got older and I was just like, yeah, what does my mom know? Like, not always, because, you know, if I could get away with this and I can get away with that. And I really think that a lot of my bad karma just stems from those, you know, from like the last 10 years of my life of making decisions that were reckless or even just like immoral, just not the way I was raised. And I think that I was, you know, just living in the city, and I was working in nightlife, and nightlife is a different group of humans, you know. They are your night out people, but they open up Alice in Wonderland for the world for you. Like you can literally be like, hey, we were lied to, you know. And I mean that with just like, you know, the amount of drinking that people do and think that it's normal, with the amount of drugs that people do, and it's just normalized, with just like ugly, greedy behavior. It's just a lot of using of other people, and it looks very glamorous and beautiful from the outside, looking in. And I know that I'm sure people like look at, you know, bottle service girls and bartenders and like, oh my God, they make such good money and they're pretty and they're this, but like they don't understand that it's just like a vicious cycle that like will eat you up and chew you up and spit you out. And I'm happy that I can't say I was spit out, but I'm happy that I just started to recognize that. And it did take some big things, like the relationship that I had with my fiance. Me and my fiance were just we were your like party couple, but we just loved to entertain. And I mean, it could be going like out to nightclubs, and like we would invite all of our friends, and it was just a thing for us. We enjoyed that energy of sharing those memories with other people. And I mean, he loved to cook, so we would do the same thing at our house. Or our house was like open doors to anybody. Like I could meet you at the club and be like, oh, she's drunk, we're gonna like take her home and like give her clothes, and then like she'll like sober up a little bit, and then she could party with us and hang out. And we would do that. We would just like take in strays. And that's just who we were. That's why we vibed so well. And as much as I loved my fiance, and I still do, I think that he I believe in multiple soulmates, but I think that he was one of my big soulmates. And I think that there was nothing I couldn't tell him that like he would be like, ew, you you did what? Like anything, like I could be like, like this is like one of my biggest, darkest secrets. And I would tell him, and he would just be like, is that it? Like, is that all? And
so there was really just a sense of like
no
he got to see you at your worst, and he was still like, okay.
Yeah, like it was just like no judgment, and it was just like, that's it? All right, light me a cigarette. Like, what the hell? And I love that. Like, there was just, I felt like I could be totally myself. I felt like I dated a lot of guys that would be like, oh, if you wear that, then you dress like a whore, and you don't respect me. And it was like I'm not like that, or I'm not doing that, or I'm not trying to disrespect you. And like him, like it would be like, what outfit do you want? He'd be like, the sexier one, of course. And I was like, really? Like,
I love it.
And and it was just a different type of treatment that I had from like men before. And because of that, like I would just be like, are you sure? My mom always taught me like there's a way to dress when you're in a relationship, and there's a way to dress when you're single. And some of those single outfits gotta go away, in the closet when you get into really. And no, he would buy me clothes like all the time. He would go to like BCBG and be like this black lace dress, and like he loved to flaunt me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was nice because I had definitely dated my share of like jealous guys who like tried to control me or tell me what to do. And I think that he just gave me life in that aspect. So like because he was that person to me, I would have followed him into flames. Like there's just like nothing that I wouldn't have done for him. And yeah, so he was from Milwaukee, and we used to go to Milwaukee a lot. We had some friends up there, and we used to just go and drive up there like either for the weekend or for the night. And he introduced me to one of his friends, and I knew that his friend had just gotten out of jail, but I didn't know what for. And I'm the type of person that when you date me, if I trust you, I will trust you, and I don't need to ask questions about every part of your business or things like that. And so I welcomed this person into my life with open arms, and I seen this person. We helped give him a job at the shop. My fiance had a few body shops that he owned, and we put him to work because he was a felon, having a hard time getting a job, and saw this person like every week for a year. And this person was the type of person that would see me out at the bar, and maybe my fiance went to go smoke, or maybe my fiance went to the bathroom, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go smoke, and he would like walk me, escort me, stand next to me while I smoked. And I would just kind of always be like, oh my God, like you're such a good, you're a good guy. Like, what are you doing hanging out with us degenerates? Like, we're always at the club partying, and he didn't drink much. He didn't do any drugs. Like, he just seemed like really chill. And like if I went inside, he would like pull up a chair for me, ask me how I was doing, like seemed like a genuine friend. And I feel like I always went out of my way to be nice to him, and that he appreciated that he noticed that. And so I me and my fiance had him over the night that this happened, and my fiance had woken me up because I struggle with depression, and he woke me up at like 7:30 p.m. and was like, baby, you slept all day, like why don't you go take a bath, and so and so's gonna come over later. And we also had this girl staying with us. She was a bartender at one of our friends' bars, and she had a squirrel infestation in her apartment, and she lived like 6 blocks away from us.
Yeah.
The most random stuff. And we just told her, hey, well, why don't you just come stay at our house for like 2-3 days? We're right down the street from you if you need to grab anything. So yeah, I took a bath. He went to Jewel, got stuff to make tacos, and the girl was there when I got out of this bath. And I came into the kitchen, and like the food was all done. He was still in the kitchen. She was laying on the couch, and we were just like, let's watch scary movies. We ate, we drank, and it got kind of late. It was like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, where's so-and-so? How come he's not here yet? My fiance's kind of just like brushing me off. Like, I don't know, it's on his way.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like gotten a phone call, and it just, he picked up and was like, who is this, and hung up. And at that point I'm like texting him like, what's going on? And he was like, nothing, I think so and so's here. I'm just gonna call so and so
That's fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the person came and they rang the doorbell, and I opened the door, and I was like, hey, come in, we've been waiting for you. And I'm all bubbly because we've been taking shots of Hennessy and eating tacos and watching scary movies. And I make a joke. I'm like, do you like our 16-year-old girl that we took in? And he's looking at her like, do you need help? And I'm like, it's a joke. Like, she's like 20-something years old.
Yeah.
Like, she bartends.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
right.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But now I think that it wasn't that he was looking at her like she needed help. It was more of like, there's someone else here that he didn't expect to be there. And I really think that she was the difference between me being here to tell this story or not. Because I think that any other time this person would have came over, usually me and my fiance would be like laying in bed and like watching TV in our room, and I think that it would have been a much easier angle for him to just come in and shoot us both like while we were laying in bed and just walk out.
Mm-hmm.
But the dynamics were different. We were in the living room, we had company, and he was just acting kind of strange. And he then asked to go back to the car to get his backpack because he was supposed to spend the night. And we were supposed to be doing this because him and his girlfriend broke up. Or at least that's the story I was told.
Mm-hmm.
But he left out our back door. He was like, I'm going to go out the back because my car's parked closer to the alley. And I'll never forget, my fiance was like, well, take those bags of trash with you while you go down. And he was like, okay, but just watch my back. Again, it was just like a lot of weird comments that were being said, but that weren't being processed.
And this was the comment made from
the other guy.
From the other guy. From so-and-so.
Yeah, from so-and-so.
Okay.
And me and my fiance had like this 3-bedroom condo, so you had to walk straight down the hallway, and our master bedroom was at the end. So we had a balcony that we could see out the back.
Mm-hmm.
And we went into our room, and I remember I went to use the restroom, and I saw, I can vaguely remember seeing him laying on the bed, and he was just, going at it with his thumbs on his phone. And I think now it was, panic. I think he sensed something was off, and I think that he was trying to call people. I know other people that told me he tried calling me, minutes before this happened. So he was definitely trying to get people to come to our house. And I just remember being like, what's wrong? And he was like, so-and-so's not acting right. And I was like, but it's so-and-so. Stop. You're being paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wish I didn't say those words to him. So we went back into the living room, and so-and-so rang the doorbell again, came back up the front door. And this time my fiance opened the door. And I remember looking over from the couch and seeing that he didn't have a backpack. But he was like, hey, can I talk to you in your bedroom for a second? So me and the girl that were staying there, we continued to watch whatever movie was on. And they faded off down the hallway and closed the door. And it was less than 5 minutes. And I've never heard gunshots in person before. And it just kind of sounded like a cabinet, like an office cabinet, hitting the ground hard, but a few times. And the girl that was there with me, she jumped to her feet, and you just seen sheer panic in her face. And I try to be a little more calm and collected in situations, and I was like, what are these morons doing? And I'm like, let me go check. And I went to the kitchen. I grabbed a knife, because that's what you do in a scary movie. You go to the kitchen, grab a knife. You hear something scary. And she just kind of pleaded with me and was like, please don't go down that hallway. Please don't go. And I was just like, you're crazy. My fiance's down there. I'm going to go see what's happening. And she stayed by the front door, and I walked down the hallway, and tried to push my way into the door, and it felt like somebody was standing in front of it. And so I gave it like a good 3 shoves. And finally I got the door open, and I see is directly in front of me, and he's pointing a gun at me. He's like a foot away from me. The gun is a foot away from me. That's how close we are. And I can see out of my peripheral on my left eye that my fiancé is laid across the bed diagonally with his head at the where the pillows would be, and his with his feet where the pillows would be, and his head at the bottom of the bed. But his back is to me, so I can't see him. And it just sounds kind of like snoring. So my fiancé, when he would get bored of your conversation, usually this was just with me, he would be like, he would start snoring and be like, "Are you done talking?" And I thought that it was one of those moments. I was just like, let's catch up. These guys are playing jokes. Mm-hmm. They're trying to scare us. We're watching scary movies. And I'm looking at so-and-so, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And he pulls the trigger. And I don't know how else to describe this. I just felt like a shield, went over me. I just felt like something just protected me. And those bullets, just started, ricocheting sideways into the walls. And he shot at me twice, right there, point blank, a foot away. And I thought that they were blanks because I felt the air, and I even felt gunpowder dust my face. And I was like, you're shooting at me with blanks. This is a joke. This is a joke. This is a joke. This is not real. And but after that second pull, I just turned and I bolted and I ran down our hallway, and the second door on the right was our bathroom, and I just went in there and I slammed the door. Mind you, I'm still holding the knife, and I locked it, and I just start backstepping towards the tub, and I just hear him doo, 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 and he just kicks the door open and lets off fire again, and I just drop to my ass. I just dropped to my ass, hands up, and then I just drop the knife, and he lets off another one, and I'm just crying and laughing at the same time. This hasn't happened many times in my life, but what happened to my best friend Samantha, we have cried and laughed at the same time. So it is the most strange thing to describe, but you're just what's going on?
It's like a defense mechanism, yeah, almost to help you from almost overdrive of what you're experiencing.
And I was just so-and-so, don't kill me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is a joke. And he just kind of started giving me a confession or telling me not to feel bad for my fiance. And I just was just get out. Just get out. Stop confessing. Stop telling me anything. Just get the hell out of my house. Mm-hmm. And I was I just want to check on him. Is he okay? Is he okay? And he's you just stay right here, because I have 2 more guys downstairs waiting to finish the job, and don't you fucking move. You stay right here. And I'm okay, just get out. The back door's right there, just get out. And he ran to our room. We ran back down the hallway to our room, and I'm poking my head out. And he grabbed this safe that me and my fiance had bought a few months prior. My fiance actually gave my engagement ring in it. He put my ring in the safe, and we opened it. It was a 2-key safe. And he grabbed that, and then he ran past me, and he was get your ass back in the bathroom. And then he ran to our living room and grabbed my fiance's phone off the couch. And then he ran out the back door. And when I poked my head out, my front door was open. The girl that was with us was nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. And my first instinct was to call my neighbor, because my neighbor always had a gun. And I just called him, and he was Vanity, what happened? We heard the gunshots. And I was I just need you to come here. I need you to help me right now. They shot Steve, and I need your help. And so then I hang up with him, and I was and grab your gun. Just grab your gun. I hang up with him, and I call 911. And then I go in my bedroom and I'm just like rubbing my fiance's back. And I don't have it in me to like look at his face. I just am like rubbing his back and I'm like, can you hear me? And he's like trying to make effort to like let me know that he can hear me. But like what I thought was snoring was he was shot 3 times, like in his face, like underneath his eye and like in his nose. So he was trying like to breathe, and that's what the snoring sound was. And yeah, my neighbor came over, saw him, freaked out too, and was like, what the hell? And I'm like, I need you to keep it together with me right now because like the ambulance is coming. And the cops got there first, and they told me, you know, like, you have to wait here, you can't ride with him, you're a witness. And I'm just like how much more can you hurt me right now?
Right.
And I had to go to the police station, and I found out later that he was already dead when he left. Like, you know, had I rode in the ambulance with them, like they weren't able to revive him. But yeah, I went to the police station. I gave my statement, like, I don't know, like 2-3 times. They let me smoke in there. God bless those cops. Like, I was just like chain smoking. My phone's ringing, and I'm like, I'm at the police station. I gotta call you later. And I got out. Well, right as I was getting out, they brought the girl in, and she had ran home barefoot, no phone, like broken glass all in her feet, to just get to a phone to call for help. And she saw me, and she just fell to her knees and just broke down. And she was just like, I saw him kill you. I saw him shoot you in the eyes, like in the face. Like, she's like, I saw him put the gun up to your face and pull the trigger, and I would have never left you. And I was like, I saw that too. I was like, I saw that too. I don't know. And, you know, and when I was there with the police before they took me for my statement, they were like, yeah, those weren't blanks. And they took me to like each hole in the wall and like the holes in the tile. And he was like, he was shooting at you. He was aiming at you. And they just missed you. And I was just like mind blown. Like, how do you shoot somebody like 3 times, point blank, right in their face, and then miss 4 times? Like, I'm a foot away from you. You have me in a bathroom. Like, you know, they thought that he probably left me because he ran out of bullets. But like, I had a knife next to me. You could have strangled me. You could have chopped me up. You know, I want to say that he spared me because I was always nice to him. And that's where I gotta like thank my character, I guess, because, you know, I don't think that he ever wanted to kill me, but it is still a mystery why he killed my fiance. Police think it's a robbery. I think it's just a little too personal to shoot somebody 3 times in their face. Why not just rob us?
Yeah.
But and who knows if I ever will know. I'm not sure. That's like the only thing that haunts me is not knowing. Like, I would just like love more than anything to like at one point, one day, like be able to like, I don't care if I have to like go to the prison and like sit glass to glass with him, and just give me like a reason so like I can like rest. Like, what is it that, you know, because I didn't think that anybody wanted to kill us. I think that we were good to a lot of our friends, and that we like helped a lot of people, you know, or invited a lot of people into our home. So that's all I can really like think about. But that also just makes me more cautious with people now, because now it's just like, well, if I thought that my friend killed my fiance, then, you know, then there's people with different intentions that I'm not picking up on. And like, I thought I was a good judge of character, and so now I'm just like even more cautious, and I question, you know, I think after this happened, I remember I saw a homeless woman, and she was like standing out on the street, and I called my mom up, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why do I want to put this homeless lady in my car and take her to my house and give her a shower and give her some food? And I'm like, after everything I just went through, you would think I would be like, no, fuck people. Leave me the fuck alone. And And I'm like, and I'm over here like, don't do that. What if she like kills you in your sleep at night? But still, those are the thoughts, and like me calling my mom, like, can I pick her up? My mom's like, yeah, no, maybe just give her $5 or something. Like,
give her some money. Yeah. So obviously that was, what was it, 2 years ago?
That was 2018. That was 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay. Where are you at with it now?
Before this 3rd anniversary, I was reflecting on it a lot, and I definitely spent I spent 2 years of grieving in a dark place, heavy drinking and long nights up, and like long nights of like torturing myself, just like looking at photos, looking at videos, wanting to hear his voice, going through his computer, looking for answers, like trying to like look up background checks on people, like just whatever I could do to try and figure out why this happened. And then I moved back home with my parents when the shutdown happened. I'm like, just it made me put like those toxic habits to rest, and that's what I'm so grateful for. And I just really, like, life just started to lighten back up. And I told myself before this 3rd year anniversary, like, this is going to be the year that you let it go. It's time to, like, stop lingering and being sad. Like, stop torturing. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I went out and I was just, like, depressed all day, like, and crying. But it was, like, me torturing myself when I was alone. Like, that's probably one of the reasons I liked to be out so much, was because, like, when you get home and it's just quiet and it's dark and there's no one else there, that's when it hurts the most.
Silence is the loudest. There's a reason they say it. It's easy to surround yourself with noise because it's noise, and you don't listen to that little voice, that little gut voice, your little heart voice, whatever you want to call it. But when you finally do get in stillness, it's where all the answers lie, but it's not always a pretty place to go.
Yeah. And I just feel like my whole life, I've always been like the type of person to make myself happy. So whenever I'm sad, I'm like, well, I don't want to be sad. How can I make myself happy? Oh, I could get dressed up, hit up my girlfriends. We can go out to a club tonight. We can go drink. We'll dance the night away. And all of my problems will still be there tomorrow, but I'll figure out a Band-Aid for that too.
Yeah.
Like,
But I'm going to feel good right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel Steve with you?
Yeah, I get lots of little random, like, songs that'll be on. Like, I have a playlist for Steve, and we had playlists together. He was really into music too. Like, he had DJ equipment, and there will be songs that are just on in places that, like, they do not belong. And those are, like, the moments where I'm like, okay, I feel you. He also had a Mercedes-Benz CLS, the 63, and every once in a while, like, even directly after, I had, like, one of them trying to race me on the highway, and I was like I was in, like, an Infinity, and I was like, I'm not racing you, but I feel like that's Steve. Like, those are, and I mean, other people could be like, that's just a coincidence, and that's cool. Let me believe what I want to believe. That's what makes me happy.
Right.
I feel like he reaches out here and there, but not the way that I thought I was going to feel him. And that, to me, I just kind of feel like he doesn't want me to linger with him. Like that there's more to life that I have to go through. And although I'll never forget him, I think he was just another chapter in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A huge one, though.
Yeah, a really huge one.
A huge chapter. In the 3 years now, you know, with everything that's happened, what has been the, like, your greatest takeaway having gone through something so traumatic?
I think I learned that you got to pick yourself up. And I think I learned that I can eventually pick myself up, even if I struggle, even if I have bad days. I know that I can, and I just like even when I do my prayers, like I talk to God and I'm like, have patience with me. I know I'm running thin on patience with you, but like I'm just like, don't give up on me yet. Like please don't give up on me yet, because like I can feel it. Like I know like I'm gonna follow through with this, and I'm gonna do great things. And I feel like I definitely had like my spiritual awakenings, and I just feel wiser now. I felt really lost and in a dark place for a while, and now that I see the light, I feel like wiser, and I see other people that are going through it, and it's like, okay, you needed me to go through it first so I could find my way out, and then I can help them find their way out. And I feel like I've had people from grammar school or people that I've just met once or twice, that when I used to share like my pain, or I used to post about my fiance, people from the like out of the woodworks that would just hit me up and tell me their stories and tell me their losses. And it just put things into perspective, like we are all struggling. And some people can talk about it.
Yeah.
And some people can't talk about it. And since I am more of an outspoken person, I talk about it and I share it, and then people will message me directly and talk about their own experiences. And I love to be the ears for some people. I've even gone as far as like just like meeting someone up for coffee or dinner and just like hearing them out, or I've had really beautiful relationships stem from things like that. Like friendships, and I'll say I've kept my spirits up, and I feel like I'm going towards a better chapter of my life. Like I feel like I don't think that the dark times are done, and I don't think that like I'll never suffer another loss, but I think that I'm learning how to cope with them better and healthier, so that they don't have such a hard impact on me, and I don't struggle as much with them now.
Yeah. I think you'd be foolish to think that dark times don't happen. And again, I feel like I'm just a book of fucking cliches, and I don't even care. Like, as I'm getting older, I just like don't even care. But I'm like, you really can't appreciate a rainbow unless there's a storm. And you can't gain wisdom and understanding unless you go through some bullshit. And it's like, not that anyone's like, give me the bullshit, let me go through it, you know, like no one wants to go through it. But again, you talk about the hard times and the hard lessons that you have to learn in every situation, and it's like that's where growth comes, and that's where you gain your like empathy and your understanding. And as fucking terrible as it is in the moment, and you're down and you feel like why, you know, like, and I can't even imagine how many times you've asked yourself like, fucking why, man? Like
showers for 2 years were like my cry sessions, and I would just be like face on the glass, like why, you know. And now I think that you know, I think that as much as I loved my fiance, I don't think that I was the best version of myself with him. I don't think he was the best version of himself with me. But that like our demons kind of played well together. And, you know, as like much as like, I think that when I was with him, like I idolized like that Harley Quinn Joker relationship. You know, like those like two villains.
The
like,
two
we were never the heroes. We were the villains together.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not what I want. That's not what I want my relationship to be like. I don't want to be two fucked up people. You know, like, it's not that I wouldn't have done it with him. It's that now that I have a second chance, at being a better person and creating better karma for myself, now I kind of go back to, I don't think that I'm like being a hypocrite. I think I'm going back to the morals and principles I was raised with as a kid.
Yeah.
Like the ones that I threw away because I thought that I was untouchable and that, like, you know, my mom didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, okay, this is who I was before. I don't know how I got so lost, but like it does mean a lot to me to be a good person. It does mean a lot to me to be selfless. It does mean a lot to me to give back to other people, to be grateful for what I have. And I think that being grateful for what I have helps me not look at what I don't have, like what's been taken from me. Now I'm just like, I listen to other people's stories, and I'm like, you've been through that? Man, then of course I can get my ass out of bed every day. Of course I can make it to work. Of course I can work 4 jobs and go to school. Of course I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, because I also hear other people's stories and I'm like, wow, like, you know, like we're not prepared for the type of world that exists. I think that we were kind of just told like, oh yeah, you're gonna grow up one day, you're gonna go to college, and you're gonna get a career, and then you're gonna get married, and it wasn't like, no one said like, oh, but your grandfather's gonna die of a heart attack, and your husband will be shot, or your fiance will be killed in your home, and like no one talked about like all the possibilities of things, and like, and by the way, your parents will get cancer or something. Like all of the real shit that happens in the world isn't discussed to kids. And I get it, we're like trying to protect them, but we also like put us in a bubble, and when shit hits the fan and we become adults, we go into mental breakdowns because we're like, holy fuck, we didn't know it was going to be this hard. Like,
right.
No one told us it was going to be this hard.
Yeah. Kiss people, not dogs, which I
you love that?
But I'm like, I hate that I'm fucking laughing at this because it's not funny, but it's like really fucking funny at the same time.
So funny.
So let me start off by saying this. When I was 11, I got into a really bad scooter accident. Where I flipped over the scooter and 2 of my teeth came out of my mouth. My lips swelled up all the way to my nose, and this entire side of my left face was scabbed and bruised. And I didn't leave the house for the whole summer. I didn't let my mother take a photo of me because my mom's like the photo queen. Like we call her Kodak Kathy. And I was really like, cute. I don't ever want to remember what I looked like. Like, I don't ever want to remember this version of myself, and you will not take a photo. So there is not a single photo that exists of me looking like this. So again, when I heard everything that happened to you, and then you showed people, I just remember being like, again, my heart, I was like, I couldn't even fucking imagine ever showing anyone I literally, I didn't show people my face. Like people would come over to my house and I would go upstairs and hide because I was like, I could see them looking at me and I could just read them and I could feel them. And I don't even know if you understand the like bravery it takes for you to like, just be like, yeah, it happened and I have scars and it's going to be okay. And so again, guys, as if Vanity hasn't already almost died a bunch of times, you recently got bit in the face by a dog. I just find it like absolutely incredible that you've been so open about everything. And I guess I just want to know why.
So yes, I was bit. I got a dog that bit 75% of my lower lip off. And it happened, like I want to say the worst time. Like, as if there was, like, a really great time for it to happen. Mm-hmm. But, literally, like, maybe the 2 weeks before. No, I'm sorry. 3 months before, I was, like, I called my best friend Samantha Clancy, everybody. And I was just like, I'm feeling my purpose in life, and I was like, I want to be an Instagram fitness model. Like, I want to like meal prep and like post recipes and like motivate people. And like I had been motivating people for a while now, and I was just getting such good feedback that I was just like, I want to do this. Like, I want to go after it. I want to work with like an activewear brand. I want to work with a supplement company, which I do work with a supplement company. I'm like, I want to work at the gym. Like, I just started like manifesting what I wanted to do with this. And like, I know for like years I've teased my brother and told him like, I want to be an Instagram fitness model. And he's like rolled his eyes and looked at me like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I felt like all of this was like falling into place for me. And then my best friend's husband was like killed. And it really put like a dark cloud over like all of my happiness, like because I was still happy,
Yeah.
but it was like I couldn't be like as happy. And even like even when that happened, I tried to limit myself on social media. But like social media has become such a part of like, it's like my online journal.
Yeah.
Like I've always like kept like a diary or a journal. And now instead of like just telling myself my thoughts, like I'm like, let's see who else has thoughts about this. Hey guys, let's talk about like domestic violence today. Hey guys, let's talk about, you know, mental health and depression. Hey guys, let's talk about, you know, what do you guys want to do like with your fitness goals? And so like I was just like full steam ahead. And I felt like I even used that to pull me through helping my best friend grieve. And I was like, when you're going to do that, when you're going to use your social media, that means you have to post photos and videos and talk on your social media. And when this dog bite happened, I was like, okay, I can either be devastated and let go of everything that I've been saying I'm going to do with my social media. And like I pride myself in like wanting to like spread love and positivity. Like it's not about like, let's all have 6-packs, and if you don't have a 6-pack, then you're just a lazy piece of shit.
Right.
It's like, do whatever you need to do to make yourself happy with your body. And it doesn't matter if like that's a 6-pack or if that's just walking every day and like you're happy with how your body looks because you just walk every day and you get that exercise. Like I'm so sick of seeing on my social media just all fake asses and fake boobs and like lip injections. And here's the thing, I'm not body shaming that. I'm not saying if that's what you're happy doing, then do it. But I felt like natural beauty was kind of getting drowned out.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, like, oh, by the way, you're not beautiful anymore. Even if you're naturally blessed, you're not beautiful anymore unless you have a fat ass with a lipo stomach. And like, that's what I was getting like sad about. Like, wait a minute, like, that's not the only way you can look, you know? And I started looking and like, you know, like J-Lo. J-Lo is like one of my, like body role models. Because like she's older and like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying J-Lo hasn't gotten work done. I'm not saying she doesn't go to a Medi spa.
Right.
But I'm saying you can tell that she works for it.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to what the money that she has, she works for it. She's putting in, she's posting photos at the gym, dripping sweat, like on a weekly basis. So you know that she's still like putting that effort. And I was like, well, I want to be more like that. I want to be that type of role model. I want to be that type of like Instagram fitness model. I don't want to just, you know, go and pay for a body. First off, I don't have money for a body like that. I don't have doctor money, guys.
Right.
So like I have to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
That's like my girlfriends that got money.
Yeah. I get that.
And so when this dog bite happened, I was like, I either have to run and hide and let go of everything that I've been building with my social media. I'm like, or I have to incorporate this into my fitness inspiration, and I was like, you know, I've been through other accidents and I've made the recovery process like a public thing, and I'm like, so this is just like, I still want this to be used for fitness, but this is also a recovery, you know, like content page. And I think that it's, in a way, it's actually helped me. Like my followers on like Instagram are growing like hundreds in the last month, that I'm like, I swear for like the last year I've been trying to get up to like just this amount, and I haven't been able to. And I just realized that like my recovery process was driving a lot of people to my page. And I had converted my Instagram to a professional account because I want to monetize my Instagram so that I can go to school and make money without having to work somewhere 40 hours a week.
Yep.
And but making money helping people, like not doing something shitty or like selling somebody like, you know, hydroxycut or something, like
a purpose,
like like there's a purpose here. Like I want you to feel good, and I want you to see like, if I lost 40 pounds, you can lose 40 pounds. You can use what I've been doing, or you can use whatever tools you need to. But I'm also here for like questions and help along the way. And so that's what I did. So I started, like, I know when I first saw my face without the bandages after the dog bite, I was just like, I look a little Frankenstein-y. That's what I told my mom. I was like, oh shit, I look a little Frankenstein-y. Because like, you know, the scars were real thick and like you could see like the stitches going across. And I was like, oh, I got a Halloween costume. Like
Vanity.
And I've just always been like that. Like dark humor is my thing and I can make fun of myself. And I think that like, you know, my friends would be like, I'm so happy you started this because we were going to roast you. And I'm like, oh, let's roast away. I'm like, I'm still going to roast you. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, I started just like joking about it and posting about it and just like saying like, this is my face. And some people are probably going to have nasty things to say about it. Some will say it to my face. Some might not say it. But I figure if I open up the conversation to joke about it, then people will be like, well, you know, you do look a little Frankenstein. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's what I got rhinestone mask for.
Yeah.
And I got makeup from Whole Foods. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten mixed reactions. I definitely get like some people that are like look up and then like look away, and you can just tell like they're just in shock. Not saying that they're being terrible human beings. Like I know how people are. Like I'm sure that we've been out, or me and my friends have been out, or me and my dad have been out, and him been like, hey, did you see that real pretty girl in that wheelchair? Like I wonder what happened to her.
Yeah,
you know, and we're just curious and. I almost hope that like more people would just come up to me and just be like, what happened to your face?
So I was going to say, I bet though the people that are coming up to you, there's like a gentleness to the people that are being attracted to you now. So, and as strange as it is, it's like, is it getting rid of the bullshit?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like as fucked up as that sounds to say, but like maybe
we're here, girl.
No, we're here. Yeah, but it's like I think now that's because I always say to people, I'm like, you know, it's like yes, you can see this and yes, and it's great to feel good on the outside, but it's here. And like the soul of a person never dies, never fades, never grays. Like that shit's gonna be radiating long after.
Right.
Our six packs are gone, you know. So, but I always say like, is like, what's the soul? And to me, like that's the kind of relationship I know that I want, and those are the type of people that I just want to be around. Is that like that meaningful soulfulness that it doesn't matter how much makeup or fucking Botox you get, it just you can't hide that.
It's a real genuine connection.
Yes.
And like my mom will say like, I have dated like the rainbow. She's like, you've dated like every race, every religion, every like, you know, and that's just because I have never dated for like money or looks. That doesn't mean I haven't dated guys with money, and doesn't mean I haven't dated guys like that are very good looking. But I have to have some type of connection with you.
Of course.
And like that connection can grow, like you can grow on me as I get to know you. And like all of a sudden, like you were the sexiest thing to me. And I never looked twice at you before.
Right.
But it's just like getting to know someone is so fun to me. Like it's like my favorite thing to do. It's like getting to like know someone, getting to know like how they tick and like where they grew up and just like their details of their life. I think is just so beautiful, and like that's why I'm such a social butterfly. That's why I like to go out to bars and clubs, and I'll have really meaningful deep talks like at a nightclub. Like let's go to the bathroom and just sit in there for 45 minutes. Like, oh my god, you went through this, me too. Like
bathroom conversations when you're out are like the girls' room is just like the best place on the planet when you're out, I swear to God.
I make friends with all of the women that work in the bathrooms. Like, you know, like mamas.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll be in there and like I have had ex-boyfriends that have been like, what the fuck were you doing in the bathroom for like 45 minutes? I'm like, oh, I was talking to mama. Yeah, and like these girls weren't tipping her, so I was telling them that they better tip her. One girl threw up, but actually she should mop her own throw up. And like, like I will be there like to defend them. And how do we get to this? Hold on. I'm
not really sure, but I'm here for it.
Oh, but so yeah, it's about genuine connection for me. And I know that a few people had reached out after my accident, and they did not beat around the bush. They were like, we're worried about like, you know, romantically, like, you know, you dating. And
wow.
Yeah, and they're just like, we just like like their responses were kind of the same. Like, we just know that God's just gonna send you like somebody like really fucking special. And I was like, that's all I can feel in my heart.
Yeah.
Is that now like we took out the bullshit. Like now all of the guys that just wanted to like bang me
for the
or,
looks,
like,
yeah.
I just thought like I was just like hot and like just want like a notch in their bedpost. Like those guys are gone. We already know because they're superficial and like they don't want connection. They don't want anything real. They just want, like a sexy girl.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that because now it's like, all right, so if you like come and you hit on me now you're deeper. You have you have some character in you. And I mean, it's kind of premature, but I have met somebody since my accident. I have to thank my best friend Samantha.
Go Sam.
And exactly what we're talking about. Like just like I just remember like texting with this guy and being like, look, I'm normally a very confident woman.
Yeah.
I was like, well, my ego's a little bruised here.
Right.
And I am like fucking terrified. Because it was so early on that I couldn't even put makeup on yet. It was like literally like a week and a half after my accident. And this guy's like, yeah, like, you want to come over? I'll cook you dinner tomorrow. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, God, is that you? Like, I'm like, I had to lose my lip to find a guy. Really? That's a little fucked up. But
oh my God. Oh my God.
But yeah, like, and I just remember texting him and I told him like, just kind of worried about the scars. I'm not going to lie. Like, cause it's one thing to like see my Instagram and like see the photos. Like, by the way, guys, all the photos that I post on Instagram, they have a filter on them. We're not doing no filter for a while.
It is that is the name of the game. It is Instagram. Everyone has a filter.
At least until I have like my second like surgery and
until you feel good too. Yeah.
For right now, like it's just makeup filters and like drawing the hell out of a lower lip. Like from like front on looks good.
Honestly,
side, you cannot like you can tell that like there's no lip there.
But honestly, you really can't, like, even like us sitting here looking face to face, like it just looks like your top is puffier than your bottom. Yeah, which like some women have that.
I have a really like skinny lower lip. But yeah, so this guy's response to that was, if you're worried about your scars, they won't bother me. I think the imperfections are beautiful. And yes, mouth drop. I was like, who sent you? Like, I was like on the defense, like, who are you? Who sent you? Like, suspect, and like that's terrible. I should have been like, oh my God, it's a sweet.
No, but I think it's your guard protecting you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more cautious around people.
Rightfully so. Honestly, I think anyone who had been in your shoes would be cautious. So potentially good things on the horizon. We'll have to check in a few months and see where you and Mr. Mystery Man, God falling him from the sky, come from. Okay, last question, because and we could honestly fucking sit here all night and talk. I know we could. I know we could. But I would love to know, like, if, again, people listening, going through hard times, you have hit the lows. You've been in the darkness. You're towards the light. You're seeing the light. You're walking in the light and still gravitating towards it. What would you say to someone who is having a hard time picking themselves up to walk towards the light?
That you need to find someone that you can like open up to. And like whether that's a therapist, like some people don't want to tell their family or their friends. Like I know what it's like to live a double life with many people in many different phases of my life. And I know that if someone just would have known all the truth, then like somebody would have been able to like, hey, you shouldn't be like doing that. And you need someone, I feel like, in order to get out of that darkness quicker. Someone to be like, hey, you've been drinking for the last 7 days. You're drinking a bottle of wine a day. That's not healthy. But if you're lying, you're like, oh yeah, no, this is my first glass today. I don't drink that often. And then that person leaves and then another person comes over later and you're on your second bottle of wine. Like you need someone to be able to like help keep tabs on you. And I believe in therapy. I have a therapist, but I also just believe that like all of my friends and family are my therapists, because that's why I'm an open book with everybody.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, like I got issues, but let's talk about them. Like, they don't bother me. I'm not ashamed of them. I just want to work on them. I want to be better. I want to be a better version of myself, but I can admit my faults along the way. So I think that the first thing you have to do is just to like forgive yourself and find someone to like hold you accountable, because like so many people have a guilty conscience or anxiety, or they don't think that they're deserving of like happiness, and they are. You just have to forgive yourself, because like life goes on. It's not the end of the world. Like just a bad day, not a bad life. And I believe that, even though I've had a lot of bad experiences, they've been bad days. It's not a bad life, because I'm honestly like the happiest depressed person I know. And like when I look at my life, I see all the happy times. Like I don't dwell on all the bad times, because I got over them.
Oh my God, I love that. Okay, so if you will raise your bottle with me, and anyone who's listening or watching, raise your glass. I found this quote by J.K. Rowling, and she says, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation in which I rebuilt my life." So, ladies and gentlemen, rock bottom isn't a bad place to start.
Nope, it's not. You can only go up from there. Rock bottom knows my name.
Alrighty then, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Honestly, Vanity just left me so inspired after we finished chatting that I just felt this new sense of energy inside of me. And I love being around people like that just kind of give you a really good sense of energy, because believe me, when you go by people who are energy vampires, you want to be around people that are just like giving you stuff. And that is exactly that was exactly the conversation we had. I would love to hear what your takeaway was from this conversation. You can message or comment on Bar Talks accounts. You can DM me personally, whatever it is. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts and your takeaways. Guys, thank you again for listening on in. Believe me, it means more to me than you know that you are choosing to listen with me. Throughout 70 plus episodes, which is honestly crazy to think about. So thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. And take the time today to realize that we have way more in common with each other than we have different. I will see you next time. Take care.
Hey everybody, it's closing time. You don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.